Welcome back. Today's episode, we are going to be focusing on one thing, and it's going to be a lot of talking, and it might be a little long-winded, but it's all going to be about talents. What talents for what heroes? I'm going to give you some good talents for them, and some other talents that you want to stay away from. For the most part, we're going to be grouping these guys together. You got your healers, you got your tank class, you got your melees, you got your ranges, you got your arenas, and others. So let's just jump right into it. Let's go right to druid. Right here, 4 or 5 berserk. You need a 4 or a 5 or 5 berserk on a hero that has 1000 hit speed in order for him to actually hit for 800 hit speed. So that is why we are doing druid with berserk. Anything that heals up everybody else is a lot better. You can do like a revit for arena, but for the most part, I'm not going to put revit in here. You obviously know if you're going to do arena, you need 5/5 revit on almost everybody, and that's that. I'm going to talk about Here Be Monsters, Lost Realm, and Mesa. Although Mesa revit is pretty much the king there, but just Here Be Monsters and Hero Trials and stuff like that. General rating and such. So you either want a berserk or a life drain on druid. That's going to be your end game, your end talent. It's either going to be a life drain 4 or higher or a berserk 4 or higher. Other ones that are decent, it's going to be like flame guard, heavy blow, bulwark, sprint, but you're really going to be looking for berserk and life drain. So I wouldn't waste any 4 or 5 any other talents on him. Just wait until you get to berserk, or wait until you get a life drain. Stick it on him. Be happy. Druid, you definitely don't want to change talents around all the time. Another one, which is very awesome for druid, but I'm also not gonna talk about, is revive. Now that Lost World is out, even though most of us don't have revive set, it's something to work towards, and a 1 out of 5 revive is gonna work amazing on everybody. So that's why I'm not listing it as a main talent, because with enough grinding, we should be able to get it as a secondary talent. And a 1 out of 5 is almost as good as a 5 out of 5. But once again, revive is definitely really good on somebody like druid, amongst a couple other wings. But for the most part, I'm not going to talk about that. PD. It's always been said it's either Zerk or it's revit. If you're really focusing on Here Be Monsters, you're going to go for a berserk 4 or higher, or even a life drain. If you are really dead set on Here Be Monsters, life drain would be much better than a berserk. But for the most part, it's going to be berserk or revit. You're going to be looking for a revit 5, ideally, or a 4 would be okay if you're not as worried about Here Be Monsters and you just want Lost World and Mesa to be a little bit easier, and you can be a little bit competitive in arena as well. But we go to our next hero here. Spirit Mage, range, and does a lot of damage. What you're going to do with these type of class heroes, it's going to be pretty much War God. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about the revit stuff, but we're going to do a high War God or a bulwark for the most part, and that's going to be hers. Secondary is almost always going to be slowdown. anything with range that you use for hero monsters, slow down, slow down, slow down until we get some more overpowered crests like Revive or maybe a high level War God as a secondary and a Bulwark as a main, or even a Life Drain would be very nice. Healers. He's going to be the same thing. He's going to have a Life Drain or a Berserk. Either are fine. He tanks extremely well with Life Drain because he already has an 800 millisecond hit speed. So it's pretty ideal to have Life Drain on Grizzly Reaper. With that being said, if you do roll a high level Life Drain, and if you have a Vlad or an Orc or a Meltanica or a Druid, I'd very highly consider putting on those, since they are more end game heroes, where Grizzly Reaper is more of a mid game actually, with the release of all these new overpowered heroes. TG, anybody that is melee, although he does have a high damage cap, and I do have a War God on him, something that helps his proc damage is okay, but something that would be a little bit better would be something that'll help him survive a little bit, and Bulwark is definitely gonna be one of the best talents on him. A couple other ones, Flame Guard, it'd be okay. For the most part, though, I think War God is probably the second or third best. Emo, it's going to be a Bulwark all day. He is fantastic with Bulwark. Another melee hero. This is going to be the same with like almost all the melee heroes. You want a little bit more health, and you want a little bit more attack, and Bulwark gives you both. War God would also be good on him. Here's another healer. He's a melee hero. A melee healer. Right now I got Enlighten on him. He's still leveling up. I haven't rolled any high level Life Drain, which is why he still has Enlighten on him. Orc could be very essential in some of the new dungeons, since he doesn't get stunned. A high level Life Drain would be really good on him. Tenacity would also be pretty decent. Berserk would also be nice. Other than that, since he is a tank, I mean, you could even make a good case for Flame Guard or Stone Skin or something like that. There's going to be two and only two: War God or Revet. Case closed. That's that. Lanacore. Revive for Lost Realm, even though I said I wasn't going to name it. But there's only going to be a couple of them. There's going to be a Revive, and then there's going to be Revit. And 5 of 5 would be about the only one you really want to do. Secondary, he's going to really excel at Flame Guard, since he is going to be a tank. You might as well deflect some of that damage back on your attackers. Paladin, he is another really, really good tanker. He is, once he gets up to 9/9, he is probably one of the most overpowered heroes as far as one-on-one goes. So a Life Drain would be total endgame. Two other ones that are going to be really fantastic on him, and you can't really complain. It's going to be a Flame Guard and a Stone Skin. Other ones like Tenacity and Berserk or a Bulwark, they're also fairly good, but since he already has a reduced damage, anything that you can even add on to that is going to be a little bit better. So try not to waste all these other talents on him. You look for 2 or 3 talents that are going to go on one hero, and then you just wait until you get those. Try not to flip-flop as much, because you're just wasting all your endgame talents on heroes that may not be well suited for it. Ares, I'm not even going to click on him. He's 505 Revet and 505 Revet only. Champ, he's got a lot of different ones. Revet for the T3 boss if you wanted to. Heavy Blow, since he's only situational use. Yeah, Berserk, Heavy Blow, or Revet. Anything else, because since he's only really used for the boss battle. I'm also not going to say anything about slowdown, since you can always put slowdown as a secondary crest. It's very cheap and it's as effective. A 1-5 and a 5-5 is the same thing. Ninja, self-destruct. If you're going to put a self-destruct on somebody, a Ninja would be really good because he has a lot of damage and he obviously blows up for how much damage he has. So, as far as a might boosting, considering that we're not going to use Ninja that much, if you roll out self-destruct, put it on him, you won't feel so bad. Deadly Strike, Sprint, if you really want to get crazy and watch him run really fast. But I wouldn't waste a lot of main talents on him. You know, you just put a whole bunch 5-5 leftover talents on him for the most part. A Scatter won't be too bad on him. Same with like a Grizzly Reaper. High level Scatter would actually be pretty decent on him. Succubus, she is very situational as well. As you can see, I have a Tenacity on her. It's one of those leftover talents you just stick on a dupe or another hero that you don't really use that much. That's basically it for Succubus. I mean, you just throw a high-level talent on her that you can just argue, oh, it helps her this way or that way. That's fine. Santa. I got Revet on him. It's pretty decent on him. I didn't have anywhere else for the Revet to go, so he kind of got stuck with it. Not the most ideal, but it definitely could get worse. For a ranged hero that does massive attack, your number one talent is going to be War God. Like I said, a lot of these are going to be about the same. Life Drain will be pretty decent on him. We got Vlad. I know there's a video on him about Life Drain versus War God and how much better a Life Drain is if you're doing something solo, which Life Drain on anybody doing something solo is obviously going to be better. So it's kind of hard to judge that video, but Life Drain and War God, you kind of flip a coin. Life Drain will have more survivability, but a 5-5 War God may also end waves a little bit quicker, so he doesn't need that survivability. If I'm going to put very end game him in for HBM, I'm probably going to put War God on him, because at the very end game, everybody's going to be 9-9, even Druid, once you get that far. And a 9-9 Druid will certainly heal Vlad for enough, especially since Vlad already self-heals. But I'm not gonna say anything bad about Life Drain because I love that talent as well. A couple other heroes that I don't have, and Death Knight is going to be one of them. He is very intriguing so far. He's almost a melee hero. I know he has like a range of 1, but in today's world, that's pretty much almost melee, considering that everybody else has pretty high range. So considering that, he does have a massive damage, so War God would be really nice, and Life Drain would be really nice. Now that we're all inscribed up and everybody has massive attack and massive HP, we really want to do talents that really take advantage of that, and nothing does it better than War God and Life Drain. But the same as TG and Emo, I think Bulwark would be one of the better talents on him as well. If you're doing straight HBM, it's hard to go against Life Drain on anything. Cupid. This one may surprise you, and I might get a little bit of flack. If you don't have a 4 or 5 revet or a 5 or 5 revet, maybe even a 3 or 5 if you're a little desperate, your second best talent is going to be Berserk. A 3 or 5 Berserk on Cupid. Not only will she actually hit under the 1200 millisecond barrier, she'll actually hit under the 1000 millisecond barrier, which is, it'll really shine in Here Monsters, where she could actually hit a little bit quicker and get your heroes to proc quicker. Now, the reason why I say Berserk is number 2, because the number 1 talent by far is a 4 or 5 or a 5 or 5 revet, and you are always going to change whatever talent you have on Cupid, whether it be a 5 or 5 War God or 5 or 5 Stone Skin or anything like that. You're going to change to a 4 or 5 revet. So that's why a 3 or 5 Berserk is actually the ideal talent for Cupid, because you're not going to put 3 or 5 on any of these other heroes that have 100 or a 1000 millisecond hit speed, because it does absolutely nothing for them. So that's why 3 or 5 Berserk is kind of a throwaway talent. You'd put on like a backup of a ninja. Well, you put it on Cupid, it actually does something for him, and it's okay if you throw it away, because you're only going to be throwing it away for something end game talent, which is just fine in my opinion. Motanica would be the last one, and like this whole video has been going, War God, Life Drain, Bulwark, very, very good. Secondary Crest, Vlad is going to be, Sprint is going to be just awesome on Vlad. The faster he can get to waves, clearing them around in his base, since his whole proc stuns everybody and it's just a massive proc, you definitely want Sprint on Vlad. Slow down on almost everybody else, and all arena players know Sprint on Ares is by far the best. But other than that, I think this video is done. A little long-winded, but I know I had a lot of people asking questions in the forums and everywhere else, in my guild chat, what talents go where, why. I just thought I'd throw my 2 cents in there and kind of give you the pros and cons of every talent. But if you do have more questions, don't be afraid to comment down below, and I'll try to get it to you as soon as possible. All right. See ya.